Because your association is so critical to Ghana's economy. You are the ones who bring the dollars in. And so we have to give you pride of place in terms of facilitating your businesses. And so I'm happy that we're meeting today. You are key partners in us being able to achieve our economic objectives under the 24-hour economy policy. And as you are aware, we inaugurated the Accelerated Export Development Advisory Committee, which I'm chairing personally. And I'm sure that FAGE is represented on that. You are the representative. Okay. So we'll hold meetings regularly, and we'll have the opportunity to discuss the bottlenecks that affect your businesses at the highest level, because I'll chair it personally. And the ministers responsible for the sectors that should create a conducive environment for your businesses to thrive will be in those meetings. And we will hold them to a checklist. And when we have asked them to do things, at the next meeting, we'll ask for progress reports to ensure that whatever we've said they should do happens, so that it creates better opportunity for your businesses to thrive. We'll work together to implement the National Exports Development Strategy so that Ghana can become a net exporter instead of an importer. Recently, we presented a budget in March, and the budget was meant to make a correction of a lot of things that had gone wrong in the past. And so trying to bring the macroeconomy back on track, reversing a negative 3.9 primary balance to a positive 1.5 primary balance by the end of the year has been one of the main targets of the budget. So it's reined in a lot of government expenditure in order that we can bring the deficit down and create an environment that is conducive to business. Happily, the economy is responding quite positively to the budget, and you can see it in the appreciation of the cedi, the reduction in the deficit, and general macroeconomic stability, return of investor confidence, and all that. And so I can assure you that in managing the economy together with the Minister of Finance, the Governor of the bank, you can count on us to make sure that we manage the economy properly. Because if we don't, it affects your businesses. When the economy goes out of gear, it affects your businesses directly. And so I can assure you that we will continue to prudently manage the economy so that you have a predictable environment in which you can make investments, knowing that your return on investments would keep your businesses going. The recent appreciation in the value of the cedi is one that we have kept watching. As the cedi started to strengthen and the dollar depreciated, with our A-level economics, we all know that it's a balance between imports and exports. What it means is that it makes your imports cheaper and your exports more expensive. And so there must be a fair balance to try and achieve the true value of the cedi. Some people say, it will come down to 4. But of course, we know the true value of the cedi is not 4. And if it went as far down as 4, it will kill all your export businesses. And so myself, the governor, and the finance minister met and discussed it. And they think that the real value of the cedi is anywhere between 10 and 12. Luckily, the Forex auction has brought it to just above 10, and it appears to have stabilized there. So I think that going forward, anything between 10, 11, and 12 as a band where the cedi operates will be a fair value, both to encourage our exports, but at the same time not make imports so cheap that importers will flood our markets with toothpicks and biscuits and coconut and all those kinds of things. And so it's a challenge to our exporters to take advantage of the cedi's appreciation, because then the advantage you also have is raw materials can be cheaper. Fuel has gone down, so transporting your products and all that will be cheaper. Port charges will go down. And so it has incentives for you, and at the same time, it has incentives for importers. But I'm asking the importers not to take advantage of it and flood us with all the, Nkatia burger and things that they bring from other countries. Let's try on the import side to import substitutes and produce as many of the products that we bring from outside. Let's produce them here. And at the same time, let's produce more products that people demand outside so that we have a better balance in terms of our economic growth. And so, like I said, it's both, it's an advantage for us, and we must take the opportunity. So I was happy when our speaker spoke about how you intend to take advantage of the improved economic environment. We must improve our export processes so that it makes it easier for you to be able to move your export products out. And so we'll be working closely with you to find out what the obstacles and hindrances are. And we'll work together with you to make sure that we smoothen it so that you can have a clear path to be able to export your products and be able to make Ghana's economics stronger. And so investing in export processing zones, providing cold chain facilities for those who need cold chain to be able to do their exports, providing pack houses, for exporters to be able to pack their goods properly for the export market. Those are all things that we need to work together on. And you mentioned the issue of credit. It's important to be able to give you affordable credit so that you're able to increase your production and thereby be able to export. It's because of you that in 2016 I set up the Ghana Exim Bank. We converted EDIF to Ghana Exim. Unfortunately, if you look, I've looked at the portfolio of the credit that has been given, and you are the people that money should have been going to, not to people who just take it and buy sports cars and things like that. If you look at the list of some of those who took that money, you wonder, really, that's not why we set up the bank. And so I've spoken to the chief executive. He'll be meeting with you, and he'll inspect your businesses and see what your demand in terms of credit are so that we can provide that credit for you. So working with the chief executive of the Ghana Export Promotion Authority and FAGE, we will sit with Ghana Exim and see how credit products can be made available so that you can expand your businesses. We also have to look at issues of standards, and so we also need to look at regulatory standards, the Food and Drugs Authority, the Ghana Standards Authority, to make sure that we are able to meet the international standards for exporting our products. And so strengthening the Ghana Standards Authority in terms of ensuring that our products are safe, to be exported into other jurisdictions is something that we need to look at. I've been watching the improved performance of non-traditional exports, and I want to congratulate you. I think we've hit $3.6 billion, and I was very glad when you said in the next 2 years we'll hit $5 billion, and then in how many years? 2030 we'll hit $10 billion. That would be fantastic, and we'll start working together from today to make sure that we meet those targets. The African Continental Free Trade Area gives an opportunity for us to increase the amount of our exports to our other countries. It's been determined that Africa has the least trade amongst ourselves, and it is both because of our colonial past and also because of the export infrastructure. The export infrastructure was set up not to promote trade between ourselves, but to promote trade between us and our colonial masters. And so it's easier to ship things to London than to ship things to a neighboring African country. Happily, we invested in the new port, and so it gives us better facilities for our exports. And our new port is developing quite well under MPS because it allows us to create a reefer service in terms of redistributing containers across the Gulf, that is from Namibia all the way to Senegal. And so if you notice, larger vessels are coming into our port and dropping containers for other countries. And MPS partners are putting those on smaller vessels and redistributing them to Liberia, Sierra Leone. So it means that if we have exports going there, there is the facility for us to put our containers there to supply from Namibia, Angola, Cameroon, Nigeria, and other countries. And so let's take advantage of that in terms of our exports. As you said, Ghana is strategically located, and so we must take advantage of our strategic location. Ghana is the country closest to the middle of the world, where longitude and latitude meet. It meets just offshore Tema. And so our distance in terms of every part of the world is much of an advantage than other people who are in the far east or other people who are in the far west. And so it means that it's something we can take advantage of. If we pack our produce, within 6 hours we can have them in the European markets. You know, within 8 hours we can have them in the Middle Eastern markets. And within 9 hours we can have them in the American markets. That's an advantage. I mean, other people have to ship or fly their products from far down south, and it takes 12 hours to 13 hours to get to the destination. And so I'll ask you to take advantage of that. Under the 24-hour economic policy, we're developing what we call the Volta Lake Economic Zone. When our first president built the Akosombo Hydroelectric Dam, electricity was just one component of that particular project. The other component was to use the water of the lake to create Ghana into an agribusiness and agricultural hub of not only our nation, but also of West Africa. And there are billions of cubic feet of water in that lake. Indeed, it's said to be the largest man-made lake. And there are hundreds of thousands of hectares of land that are uninhabited and inhabited along the banks of the Volta Lake. We think the time has come to take advantage of that. Draw electricity to that side of the lake, construct roads there. Already there's the design for an inland port on the other side of the lake where we took the railway line from Tema to Mpakadang, and then create a special economic export processing zone on that side so that you can produce your peppers, you can produce your pineapples, you can produce your mangoes and everything, bring them into the port, put them on the train, and the train will bring them straight to Tema and get them ready for export. And so the opportunities exist for that. We are doing the design and the planning, and when the time comes, we'll invite you to be together so that we cut sort for the beginning of the Volta Lake Economic Zone project. I know that, if we support you and expand your businesses, we'll be able to create hundreds of thousands of jobs for our young people so that our young people don't have to take the risky journey across the desert and the Mediterranean to be able to reach Europe, because they'll be able to find jobs here. Under the African Continental Free Trade Area, I've been following the issue of the development of the Pan-African Payment and Settlement System. I believe that this will revolutionize African trade because it will allow us to trade amongst ourselves seamlessly without the border of having to change our currencies into other people's currencies before making payments. And so Ghana is one of those, because we host the African Continental Free Trade Area, pushing for the Pan-African Payment and Settlement System to be operational as quickly as possible so that we can take advantage of it. I've taken note of your complaint about being removed on the boards of GEPA. GEPA, that's a sad mistake. How can Fage not be on the GEPA board? I thought it was institutional representation. And if it is, then Fage should be there. Yeah, so we'll take a look at that. And then also look at Ghana Exim. Ghana Exim is also institutional. So we'll take a look at that and make any correction that has occurred. And you can count on me. I'll be your champion because I'm in the I'm in the agricultural space myself, not as an exporter, but I'm contributing to Ghana's food security as a producer. I have a farm where I produce maize and soya bean, and then I also have a farm for livestock, goats and cows, and then I have a small cocoa farm, and I have some plantain in the cocoa farm. So when I harvest, maybe I'll send some to you guys. So you can be sure that on 11th June, I will put it on my diary and make sure that I'm here. My secretary is looking at me, but I'll ask him to prioritize it, and make sure that I'm able to join you for.
Who wanted to sell cheese to a German? So he went to the German and he said, "Oh, I want to buy a purple cheese." And the German was like, "No, there is nothing like purple cheese." So he went to the French and he said, "I want to buy a purple cheese." The French locked his shop because there's nothing like purple cheese. He went to the Italian and he said, "I want to buy purple cheese." The Italian has 3 shades of purple. And he waited for a while. The Italian went, sprayed the cheese, and brought it to him. That tells you how serious the Italians are. So we are here for business, His Excellency. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, honorable ministers, distinguished government officials, captains of the industry, the media, ladies and gentlemen. It is my distinct honor and privilege to address you today on behalf of the Federation of Associations of Ghanaian Exporters as we discuss the transformative potential of Ghana's agriculture and export sector and our shared vision for agricultural excellence that will position Ghana as Africa's premier agricultural powerhouse. Gathered here, His Excellency, are representatives of the over 22 associations and affiliates, like the Mango Growers and Exporters, Pineapple Growers and Exporters, Ghana Root and Tuber Exporters, Textile Manufacturers, Vegetable Exporters Association, Handicraft Producers, Service Providers, Cashew, and other processing shares, including North for Growth, the biggest share processor in West Africa, at 300 tons and 150 tons per day share and soya bean processing capacity, respectively, located in Tamale on the Salaga Road, with its Women for Change cooperative membership of 81,000 registered. These are all members of FAITH. His Excellency, members of FAITH membership includes processors, Reason for Witnessing HPW, Blue Skies, and exporters of food, crops, seafood, agricultural products, forest products, handicraft, cosmetics, textiles, inputs. We have the Agromonti and AgroCity here. The banks, of course, Fidelity Bank, to be specific, here with us today. Your Excellency, Ghana is uniquely positioned as Africa's premier source of premium tropical agricultural produce. Our strategic location, just 6 hours flight time and 12 to 15 days by sea from major European markets, and our year-round production capacity offer unparalleled advantages for agricultural development and export growth. Your Excellency, working closely with the Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, the Ghana Export Promotion Authority, and key development partners, we have set ambitious but achievable targets to increase Ghana's non-traditional export revenues to over 5 billion within the next 2 years and 10 billion by 2030. The horticulture sector is essential to achieving this goal. Our confidence stems from recent successes. At this year's Fruit Logistical Fair in Berlin in February, Fage and GEPA led Ghanaian businesses to secure orders worth over $260 million US, and also in Italy, got deals worth over 140 million euros. This achievement demonstrates the growing global recognition and acceptance of Ghana's horticulture products and validates our collective efforts. Your Excellency, as you may be aware, FED was previously represented on the board of the Export Development and Agriculture Investment Fund, EDIF, which transitioned to Exim Bank. We also had representation on the board of GEPA until recently. Considering our key role in the growth of the sector and the over our 30 decades vast experience, we as a sector present body, parent body for the associations that represent the private sector, we plead with you to reinstate faith on the boards of Ghana Export Promotion Authority and the Ghana Exim Bank. The African Continental Free Trade represents the single greatest opportunity for expanding Ghana's horticulture export. With a market of 1.7 billion people and a combined GDP of 3.4 trillion, Africa offers boundless opportunities for Ghanaian producers. However, Your Excellency, we must move beyond celebratory rhetoric to practical implementation. FED calls for accelerated progress on eliminating non-tariff barriers like frustrating custom procedures at border points and harmonizing standards. We need strategic investment in logistics infrastructure like intra-Africa highway, reliable shipping lines, and payment systems that facilitate intra-African trade. We know the Bank of Ghana is working on seamless payments across Africa with the next-gen digital payment infrastructure DPI project. We urge Your Excellency to provide all the necessary support to accelerate this. Your Excellency, our upcoming Ghana Horticulture Expo 2025, scheduled for June 11 to 13, which you have been invited as a special guest and to deliver the keynote address, operates under the theme, Innovate, Transform, Sustain, Driving Growth in Ghana's Horticulture Sector. This expo represents more than just an event. It is a declaration of our collective ambition for Ghana's horticulture sector and our commitment to positioning Ghana as a leading horticulture hub in Africa. The expo will serve as a platform to rally the sub-region and all of Africa around meaningful trade engagement, creating a marketplace that connects African producers and buyers while showcasing Ghana's agricultural excellence to the world. Events of this magnitude and the transformation we envision succeed only through strong collaboration and partnership. We express our profound gratitude to our partners, Gesell Fidelity Bank, GIZ, Ghana Exim Bank, the Multimedia Group, AgriMonti, and AgroCity, and all member associations. We extend a special appreciation to the Ghana Export Promotion Authority, especially to their CEO, for his unwavering partnership and continuous financial, technical, and policy support. CEO, we are grateful to you. Your Excellency, faithfully supports your visionary 24-hour economy policy and recognizes its transformative potential for our horticulture sector. Round-the-clock operations in processing facilities, cold chain logistics, and export handling can significantly reduce post-harvest losses, improve product quality, and enhance our export competitiveness. FED is ready to partner with relevant government agencies and private sector institutions in developing specific interventions that will enable the horticultural sector to minimize benefits from this policy direction. The success of agricultural transformation agenda depends fundamentally on providing effective, comprehensive support to our farmers and exporters to enable them to scale their operations. And we respectfully appeal for urgent government attention to the following critical areas. 1, financial inclusion and credit access. Make the acquisition of credit less burdensome for farmers, processors, and exporters through streamlined process and reduce bureaucratic bottlenecks. Significantly reduce interest rates on agricultural loans to make them accessible to small and medium-scale farmers. Technical and capacity building support. Provide modern agricultural extension services with focus on climate-smart farming techniques, support farmer organizations and cooperatives to achieve economies of scale, invest in agricultural research, and develop to improve crop variety and farming methods. Your Excellency, we gather at the time when global trade faces unprecedented challenges. Recent protectionist policies in traditional export markets underscores the urgency of diversifying our market focus. Rather than viewing these challenges as insurmountable obstacles, we see them as opportunities to redirect our energies towards markets where Ghanaian products have distinct competitive advantages, particularly within the Africa continent and emerging markets in Asia and Middle East. Fetch and GEPA have partnered to promote some 8 products we have a competitive advantage into the global market. Our impressive production portfolio speaks volumes about potential of these 8 commodities, namely chili, pepper, pineapple, mango, sweet potatoes, yam, fonio, and coconuts. We request Your Excellency's support in developing this portfolio further to drive wealth creation for our country. Your Excellency, as we approach the products are coconuts, mango, maize, coconut, mango, pineapple, sweet potatoes, yam, and fonio. Chili pepper as well, His Excellency, yes. Habanero is one of them. Yeah. It's a sort of pepper. Yes. It's not sweet. Very hot pepper, but the demand is very high out there. It's not papacito. It's yes, please. Yes, His Excellency. Yes. Yes. Your Excellency, as we approach the Ghana Horticulture Expo 2025 and look toward the future of Ghana's horticulture sector, we invite your continued leadership and support in positioning Ghana as Africa's agricultural powerhouse. Together, we can achieve the ambitious target of $5 billion in non-traditional exports while creating sustainable livelihoods for thousands of farmers and workers across our agricultural value chain. At this point, I'd like to commend Your Excellency and the government for the appreciation of the cedi against major trading currencies. If we work together, His Excellency, and drive our exports, we can sustain and stabilize the cedi and drive macroeconomic gains. The opportunity before us is limitless. With your administration visionary policies, particularly the 24-hour economy initiative, the agriculture for economic transformation and the big push project, combined with strategic infrastructure investment and our sector's proven capabilities and commitment to excellence, we can transform Ghana's agricultural landscape and establish our nation as a continent premier agricultural export hub. We must treat Ghana as a large agro-industrial enclave and apply industrial ecology principles to create maximum value. Though through proper product and raw material mapping, life cycle assessment of products and value chains, the strategic industrial linkages, we can build a robust, competitive agricultural and export sector that serves both domestic and international markets effectively. In conclusion, Your Excellency, the Federation of Associations of Ghanaian Exporters stands ready to work hand in hand with your administration in realizing our shared vision for agricultural transformation and export. We believe that with the right innovations, transformative approaches, sustainable practices, efficient policy implementation, and strategic infrastructure investment, Ghana can achieve remarkable growth in the global agriculture market. The time for action is now. Let us move beyond rhetoric to practical implementation. Let us transform our agricultural potential into economic prosperity. Let us position Ghana not just as a producer of raw materials, but as a value-adding processing and exporting powerhouse that creates wealth generate employment, and ensures food security for our people. We humbly request your continued support and leadership as we work together to showcase Ghana's export excellence to the world, create lasting value for our economy, and build a prosperous future for all Ghanaians. Your Excellency, we are confident that with your visionary leadership, strategic policy support, and our collective commitment to excellence, Ghana will emerge as Africa's undisputed leader in agricultural export and agro-processing. Let me take this opportunity to thank Honorable Chief of Staff for working with us behind the scene on the presidential initiatives. It's rather unfortunate Utukuno is not here, but he's working seriously with us on other things. Your Excellency, once again, we once again extend our warm invitation to you to serve as the special guest and deliver the keynote address at the upcoming Ghana Horticulture Expo on June 11, 2025. We expect to host 200 exhibitors and over 3,000 trade visitors from across the globe.
My sister, Honorable Joyce Bauer, and my senior colleague, Honorable Mrs. H. Honorable Nana Oye. Your Excellency, fortunately for me, I don't have a speech to inflict on you. But just to reiterate the potentials of the Federation of Association of Ghanaian Exporters. Your Excellency, I am proud to report to you that in February of 2025, after the Fruit Logistica Fair in Berlin, a company in Morocco ordered $24 million of Ghana mango. And by the time the team left Berlin to Accra, that company has moved over 50 trucks across the Sahara to load their own mango from Ghana back to Casablanca. Your Excellency, this interesting development is against the backdrop that it takes over 60 days to move products from Accra to Nairobi. My office, that's the Ghana Export Promotion Authority, is working closely with the AFTA Secretariat to see how we can develop and improve transportation of goods and services across the West African and African continent. Your Excellency, I wouldn't take much of your time, but to reiterate and affirm the invitation of the Federation of Association of Ghanaian Exporters to you to grace the occasion of the Horti Expo 2025.
Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and click on the bell for more updates.